All right, everyone. Hey, welcome to our Monday night live stream. And with me in the chat room this evening, we have returning guest Derek from Flick Snacks and Knickknacks. And you put your name in there this time too, so I can
Yes.
remember your name, Derek. I
I'm going
appreciate
to
that.
start doing that every stream I do. It's a good
Yeah.
idea, I think.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, and that's good because the last time we talked, we said, "Hey, we're going to do." I said, I just sanctioned it. I'm like, "We're going to do the Christmas one," and the only one that I really know that I have this month is this tonight. So I was just like, "Well, we got to do it tonight." So it was in 1 week. So that's what we're doing tonight. And Thrash Pondo Pons with me as always. How you doing, Thrash Pondo?
I'm doing awesome, and I'm looking forward to tonight's post.
I'm looking forward to it too. It is that time of year where people talk about Christmas and Christmas movies. And I have had some heated debates about Christmas movies, what is and what is not a Christmas movies, and then some forgotten gems of Christmas movies. Of course, some of those forgotten gems are kind of coming back because but so many things are streaming right now. You don't have to wait till it comes on and then go, "Oh yeah, I remember that movie," or see it at the videos. "Oh yeah, I remember that." So some of these forgotten gems are kind of coming back. And before we get, and also as always, I'm going to be asking the chat room to chime in and let me know what your favorite Christmas movie is, or whether or not the Christmas movies we talk about are really considered Christmas movies or not considered Christmas movies. Let's say hi to some of these people here who are in the chat tonight. We have Tracy Rothmeyers.
Tracy, happy Hanukkah, Tracy.
How you doing? And then we have Spike Spikerson.
Spike.
And John Collins. How you doing, buddy?
John Collins, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. And I think we've got, let's see, Zuperplex is here as well. How you doing, Zuperplex? And I believe that I saw Danny Staten. I believe I saw
Somebody
him.
said hi, Danny.
Big Dan.
There we go.
There it
Greetings from South Carolina. All right, the good Carolina. We're going to call that
No
one.
wrestling tonight?
The good Carolina. And look who else we got in here. We got John H. in the house. And I think that's, oh no. Look who else we've got. Skip
Rock Jr.
Jr. All right. Well, look, he's getting
And
right
neglects
into
the movie.
He's getting right into the soup of things, talking about this movie here. It's always interesting to me that a lot of times people will do the Christmas motif where the movie really doesn't have anything to do with Christmas, like whatsoever. It just kind of happens at Christmas time. And they might put an allusion into like being kind to your neighbor, or, maybe some ominous Christmas music in the background where it's like, kind of that slow, more melodic music. But I'm going to get right into at least a couple of these things. And we are going to talk about maybe, movies that are Christmas movies, why people think they're Christmas movies, why people don't think they're Christmas movies, and what you think about it and the pros and cons of it. I'm going to jump in with the ones that I had already on the thumbnail. And the first one is Die Hard. So Die Hard. I really want to know this. What do you think? Do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, or do you think it's not a Christmas movie?
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Possibly a watered-down Christmas movie, but a Christmas movie nonetheless. First off, it takes place during a Christmas party, so we have that theme right out the gate. Second of all, and this is something, and I've given this a lot of thought, like what does make a movie a Christmas movie and what makes it not a Christmas movie? There has to be something either great or weak, but there has to be some kind of Christmas miracle. And in this case, there was a Christmas miracle. He manages to thwart the European terrorists. Miraculous. Yeah. So he does pull a rabbit out of the hat, shall we say. And in the end, what happens? The two people who love each other most end up, spoiler alert, by the way, end up reconciling.
In case you haven't
so
seen
they can go on to their next Christmas adventure.
30
So,
years old.
Yeah, hopefully you've seen it by now. And if you're not,
yeah, I was
sorry.
going to say at this point it's not much of a spoiler,
No.
but I have to put it in the Christmas movie category.
All right.
All right.
I have to agree with you. Well, let me just say real quickly, I wanted to say hi to Terrell Bellinger. Hey, Terrell, how you doing? Just want to acknowledge you in the chat room. All right. Why? Let me ask you this. So, well, Derek, please, Christmas movie, not a Christmas movie.
Okay, well, just quickly, I think the reason that these get so debated is because people view and celebrate Christmas itself for different reasons. That can be reflective on their range for what is and what isn't a Christmas movie. And I decided that since I can't sit through an entire month of only the rom-com type of drama Christmas movie, though I do love them and they have their place for me. I've decided to include just about every movie that everybody thinks could be a Christmas movie in my personal Christmas movie list. So yes, it is for me as well. But mainly because he puts on a Santa hat, and that was just so iconic.
I see. So what makes people think that it's not a Christmas movie? Let's just pause there for a minute. Like, if you were going to argue the other side, like if somebody was to say, okay, you've got to debate and you got to debate why it's not a Christmas movie. What are some of the things you've heard as to why it isn't?
Well, it's certainly it's an action movie,
Well,
and the majority of it is him.
Thrash, pull your microphone a little closer.
Pull your microphone.
There we go.
Closer to, there we go.
That sounds great.
I was trying not to. I didn't want to get the breathing.
That's okay.
Oh, fine.
But so I don't know if you heard that last part, but it's a punch 'em up. It's an action film, and a lot of people don't think that has anything to do with Christmas. It's supposed to be goodwill towards men, not horrible violence. So I could certainly see why people would say not a Christmas movie. You could certainly make that case.
I think for me, I have to agree and disagree slightly, just because one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, as you can tell from this doll here, maybe you can't, the lighting is really weird, Turbo Man, so Jingle All the Way, which is an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie, but I think the biggest thing for what some people consider, I think some people have a more narrow range of what their Christmas movies should be, which nothing wrong with that at all. You can have whatever range you want to have. It can be one specific genre if you want it to be. But I feel like it's because Jingle All the Way celebrates the actual holiday of Christmas. It shows gathering a family, presents under the tree, opening of gifts. They talk about the spirit of Christmas. There's carolers, there's parades. I think it's because they show the actual act of the celebration. Whereas if you see that in Die Hard, it's in the background or a cutaway scene. It's not any type of focus on the story at all. And so that's why I can see the other side of the fence. Like I said, I think it is, but I definitely don't I don't debate it too hard against people that don't see it as one, because I see that point of view as well.
Right. And it's one of those things too. It's just like, there's a Christmas, it's like almost like a Christmas motif, but not necessarily like a Christmas movie. And since some people go, well, it's just not a Christmas movie. Of course, I'm not going to argue about anything so trivial. I just want to know what people think about it. If people want to think it's a Christmas movie, great. If people don't, I'm kind of on, with what you said as far as that's concerned, Derek.
Absolutely,
kind of like you, if you do, then good. There are more serious topics to argue about, but I think the idea too is like, how much Christmas do you have to have in a movie in order for it to be a Christmas movie? And if you have a whole movie that's just winter and one person through the whole show says Merry Christmas, and it is, I don't know, it's a show about jumping off of rocks, or sledding, then somebody might go, well, that's not necessarily a Christmas movie. Now, does it make it a Christmas movie? They say Merry Christmas twice. Do they make it, you know what I mean? Like,
you mean Cool Runnings isn't a Christmas movie?
I think so. I don't know if it's a Christmas movie or not. I haven't seen it in a long time to really make a comment.
It's not. That. There's just snow.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to some of these comments we got going on here.
Okay. John Collins. Hey, Thrash Pondo. I need contact info for Christmas cards. All my YouTube hosts / stars, which all you are getting cards. So I need some contact info, Thrash. I could have sworn I gave you mine. Well, you know what? I'll send you another email tonight and make sure you have it, John. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Sure. All right. Let's see.
Tracy Rossmeyer says, thank you guys. Happy Hanukkah and Christmas all. Oh, and by the way, I feel compelled to explain why I am pulling the Sherlock Holmes bit tonight. I have to do tonight's broadcast on my cell phone. I get really nice picture and sound, but the picture is very, very, very small, and my eyes are going.
Oh,
so I'm going to have to do my
I understand
very
completely.
Interesting.
If I was doing it on my phone, I would need one too. So
yeah, you'd have to be holding it up to here. Otherwise, right. Oh,
my arms aren't long enough.
We got a vote already.
Die Hard is the Christmas movie, I believe. Thank you so much, Mr. Sundstrom. You've made my world just a brighter place on so many levels. I believe, according to his final tally, Die Hard is considered a Christmas movie by his vote. So by a narrow margin, I believe it was 60-40 approximately, but it has been confirmed.
Well, let me just chime in. I would say it's a Christmas movie. I have no problem. I would have, if it came down to a vote and I had to vote one way or another, I'd vote Christmas movie. Why not? Spread the cheer.
John H. says, there are some Christmas songs which aren't really Christmas songs, like Let It Snow and Frosty the Snowman, at least according to the original lyrics.
Good point.
Couldn't agree more.
That's a fairly good point.
Let It Snow and Frosty. Okay, so Let It Snow and Frosty the Snowman are not Christmas. He's basically saying they're not Christmas songs because of the lyrics.
Right. They don't specifically mention anything about Christmas. One's just about snowman and one's just
magic
about
snowman.
Snow.
Yeah.
Magic
in fact,
Snowman.
They had to have the Christmas special, which tied the two together. The kids were getting presents, and there was a magic show in the spirit of Christmas, and the magic hat for the musician during this Christmas show went on Frosty. So, and that became his Christmas present. So they had to do a whole tie-in. According to the song, he just runs around after he gets a magic hat. There's no holiday sentiment whatsoever. And let's face it, Let It Snow. Let It Snow is creepy if you listen to the lyrics.
Okay. All right.
Zuperflix says, Die Hard, a Christmas movie. Nope. We've had this conversation, Zoop.
Oh, you guys did have the conversation. Well, Zuperplex thinks that it's not a Christmas
Perfectly
show.
fine.
It's a free country. It's a free country.
And Georgia Harris
still
says,
at the moment.
Hi, gentlemen. Hi, Georgia Harris. How are you? Glad to have you in the room today. Let's see. Christmas has best holiday themed cookies. Well, look, I couldn't agree with this more. Let me just say this.
Oh, definitely.
Skip Rock Jr. says Christmas has the best holiday themed cookies. Again, couldn't agree more.
Well, this is where I go off the rails. Like I really have a good fortitude on most things because as I've said before, I've lost a lot of weight. But let me tell you, Christmas cookies are just too big of a temptation for me to bear. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. All right, I'm going to take one more comment here, and then I want to go to some of your guys' choices on the next Christmas movie after Die Hard here.
Spikerson says, I don't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but I am going to storm the State House and burn it. I'm sorry. I am not going to storm the State House and burn it down over. I probably should have kept that word in there. Sorry. I do like the movie, though.
I read it the same way you did, though, because I was just reading while listening to you, and I was like, oh no, okay, sorry, it's not.
Ixnay on the 8-house stay.
we got one more here. I'm gonna do one more.
Terrell Bellinger says, from what I understand, Die Hard came out in the summer of 1988, but it does take place at Christmas, so you wouldn't call that a Christmas movie released in theaters during the summer. Ever heard of Christmas in July?
Yeah, well,
that's another. Yeah, but it does. I think it does make some, at least to some people, to some groups of people, when considering what is a Christmas movie, I could see like when it's released being part of the criteria. So I understand that too.
And maybe if it was back, for the people who actually were there when it came out, which I was, but I just don't remember that. But that would be a big deal. Like, I mean, would a movie that came out in summer be considered a Christmas movie?
Especially when it's not specifically about Christmas.
Yeah, it's just kind of Christmas motifed.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, though, it was supposed to come out the previous Christmas and was delayed for some reason.
Oh.
It was supposed to be a big Christmas blockbuster, but they didn't. I forget the reason. We're going back over 30 years now. But they delayed it and they released it the following summer for the summer blockbuster.
That's gonna be one of those 10 things you didn't know about Die Hard or something.
You need to make a why Die Hard is a Christmas movie, like top 10 reasons or something.
Yeah, that would be well, not me, but Thrash can do that.
Yeah, anybody. You could do it. He could do it. You know.
All right. Fun. What's next? I got my first one in there, the controversial one. What about you two? Anybody want to go? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Thrash.
Okay, I want to start on the attack. Okay. Remember, a good offense is the best defense. There's a holiday sentiment if I've ever heard one. Right. And I'm going to pick a movie which is not a holiday movie. I'm going to attack It's a Wonderful Life. Now hear me out. I gotta say now, this movie was actually not intended as a holiday film. It was set at Christmas, but it was a capper film, and it was meant to be more about the sort of alienation people were going through in the post-war years. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason it became such a big holiday hit was because, and I'm sure you folks already all know the story, at least most of you do. Nowadays, copyright rights are inherent in any theatrical release. Back then it wasn't. You actually had to keep the paperwork on them or they slipped into the public domain. Due to a glitch, a clerical error in It's a Wonderful Life, it went into the public domain. So around the holidays, a lot of the local channels that didn't have a lot of money for holiday films said, I could show It's a Wonderful Life as much as I want, not pay a royalty. If I do some of the classics like March of the Wooden Soldiers or Christmas in Connecticut or Miracle on 34th Street, I'm going to have to shell out some dough. So they started cranking this movie out, and it was created a holiday wave behind it. Now, the only thing that really makes this a holiday movie is the fact that it takes place on Christmas Eve. That's when Bailey's going to go to prison. The movie is really, it's about his life. It's about his trials and tribulations with this robber baron. And it's about, well, really, the whole thing kind of plays like an old Christian movie I saw warning against the sins of suicide, telling him not to kill himself. That's really the whole theme. And even a life that you can't see the value of it has its value. I mean, I saw it as a kid, and when I saw it, I thought it was a horror movie. It's this guy who's dead who goes and has adventures through time with his friend who's a ghost. What? I mean, it's a great movie, and I love it to death, and I still watch it every Christmas. But it's not a Christmas movie. For crying out loud, there's no miracle. Bailey's already a good guy. You don't have to convert him. The only really bad guy in the whole movie is Potter, and he's not converted. Someone on my channel actually made a very convincing argument about that. He even gets to keep the thousands of dollars that he swiped from Bailey, that the whole subterfuge, the whole shenanigans. So he doesn't learn a single thing. So anyway, I'm throwing that to you. What do you guys think? If I am on the mark? Am I off the mark? Am I?
Well, I think you're making some really good points. I think everything you have said is true. So I'm not going to argue any of your points. However, I don't think that it took away from the fact that when I watched that movie, I feel maybe just because I've watched it later in life with the intentions of watching it as a Christmas movie, I see it as a Christmas movie. But like I said, everything you said, it docks some points for sure, but I still think I lean into the category of it is, but I think it also has to do with what I said with the mindset I viewed it in.
Right. And
fair enough.
I think that goes for me too. I mean, I could not argue with any of your points.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if I could
couldn't-
ever argue with any of Thrasher's points.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
They're too good.
you flatter me.
You-
Praise
you've-
from Caesars.
You've made some really good, compelling arguments, and there isn't a one of them that is wrong or that we be like, oh, well, no, I don't see it that way. The only problem that I have is, I mean, until you said that just now, I would not have known why it's not a Christmas movie. Like if somebody asked me to argue the other side, I wouldn't have been able to think of those things. So
I'm
good
kind of
for
the same.
you on that.
Exactly.
And the fact
exact same
that
boat.
I grew up, I mean, obviously after it was released and it comes on every year at Christmas, I can't, you know what I mean? It's just like it's ingrained in me that it's a Christmas movie. But I mean, I could be totally 100% wrong. You know what I mean? It's just like
That's what I'm saying
next time
too.
I watch
Yeah.
that movie, I'm going to be watching it with a different view, with different eyes on it at this point.
You had a
We're gonna
Sixth
go
Sense
to-
moment, huh?
Yeah. Kind of a sixth sense. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit
Sixth
that.
sense.
Hang on,
Oh.
I'll come back to that. Hopefully, let's hope I'll come back to that. I just meant to scroll up here.
No worries.
Let's see. Oh, I don't know what's going on.
It's all right. While you look, I don't have much to say about this one. I'll just, to fill some time. What would you guys think about something like Monty Python's Life of Brian being considered a Christmas movie?
Not a Christmas movie. I think it's
A nativity movie.
Well, and is that
A nativity movie?
No, that's
like
true.
saying-
You
that's
do have
like-
to maybe separate the two,
Yeah.
Christmas and actual nativity. I can see that too, but I just remember when you asked me this, one of the movies that popped into my head was like, well, it did happen on the first Christmas, so
The Magi were there, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go and they take it away.
I just feel like it's one that could have a couple arguments for it, and like the horror ones, like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Well, those are obviously like horror Christmas shows for sure.
But are they Christmas movies? There's not the spirit of Christmas. You can make that argument too.
Well,
yeah.
You're leading me into my next one. Would you mind if I do another one, guys?
Well,
by the way,
well,
I don't want to steal the show, but you just gave me a great segue.
A lot of people are asking these kind of
keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. I'm curious though.
I will hold that thought.
Hold it.
John H. says, The Miracle on 34th Street was released in June of 47. It has footage from the 1946 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I think that maybe that was a reference to Terrell's comment that if it was released in the summer, then it couldn't be a Christmas movie. And
they said Miracle about 34th.
Yeah, that one specifically. And Cindy D has joined us.
Cindy D in the house.
Yeah, hi Cindy. I see her saying hi to other people, but I didn't see her original post. Hi Cindy. Let's go on down. Let's see this here.
Ooh, John H. says, in a deleted scene, Potter died of a heart attack after Clarence visited him. That is boom. Wow.
That's
awesome. We should let
awesome.
that scene in. That's kind of an important scene, if you ask me. And blows my point out of the way.
That would have been awesome.
It would have been. Superblick says, John H. in a deleted sense, the townfolk storm Potter's home and burn him down like in Frankenstein. I like that one even better. Not really a holiday spirit, but I do like it.
They used to film so many different versions of, especially like the Universal monster movies. Even you can go back and find like 5 different endings for each one.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Interesting.
Blackadder says studios or what. Sorry.
Christmas Vacation doesn't even take place on Christmas. It actually ends on Christmas Eve. Most of it takes place a few weeks before Christmas. You raise a valid point.
Yeah, you raise it, but it's called Christmas Vacation. It takes place over the Christmas holiday. And I don't think something has to be on Christmas in order for it to be a Christmas. I think that, that's just my opinion. Of course, we all have our opinion about this. But if it's over the Christmas holiday and it really does kind of revolve around, family showing up and a Christmas tree and all that stuff, to me, I would definitely have to count it. I don't see anybody chiming in really on whether or not It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie or not. So go ahead with
They're
your
not
next one.
They're not speaking to me now.
I saw one and I couldn't find it. It was just Tracy who said, you make some good points, but I've lost it in the chat. So
Thank you. Well, thank you for letting me steal the thunder. My next one, and I actually did this one on my content channel. It's Night of the Comet. And Night of the Comet.
Have you seen Night of the Comet, Derek?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's been a few years, but yeah.
All right.
Possibly
I love that show. I love it.
The only Christmas zombie movie ever made. I love it too.
Yeah.
I love it too.
I only remember zombies, not Christmas.
Oh, really?
But it's been a while, like I said.
You don't remember Kelly Marino running around in the cheerleading outfit? Because that's all I remember from.
You know what? No, that part was. I probably saw it on TV, and it was probably edited out.
The funny thing is, when I first saw it, she was a sexy older woman. Now I'm a dirty old man.
Yeah, and now you're like, oh yeah, nice young lady.
in any event, so the premise, really quickly, is it takes place again around Christmas, and a comet, which has not been seen on Earth since the time of the dinosaurs, hint, hint, comes by. Everyone rushes out to see it, and it triggers an extinction event. Now, how is this holiday? Well, one, again, it takes place around Christmas, hence the Christmas parties that have all been converted into comet parties. But let's look for a few more here. One, what did I say was going across the sky? Could it be one of Santa's reindeers? Comet? One right out the gate. I know, whack, whack.
Well, that's a stretch.
But there's more. There's more. There's gift giving. Right. The girls give each other the gifts of firearms.
Right.
So they can go around trashing zombies. A big extended scene takes place in a shopping mall decked out for Christmas sales. Back in the 80s, the malls were temples to the holiday shopping season.
Yeah.
And again, spoiler alert, they're rescued by Santa Claus. So
there it is.
I make a valid case that Night of the Comet at least qualifies as a holiday movie.
Agreed.
Yeah. I couldn't argue with any of those points. I've never really seen it as a holiday movie, but I love it now. I'm waiting for another one of mine, but before we do that, Derek, I want to hear one of yours.
Okay. Well, like I said, I don't have like a whole lot to say about any of the ones I brought to the table. I just kind of more so brought titles to let the people digest in the comments and to see what, or what you guys wanted to pick apart. But a couple that I think of, a couple of the obvious ones. Batman Returns, I know gets debated a lot.
Yeah.
I know that's one that people talk about. And Gremlins, obviously another one that gets talked about a lot. So like I decided to maybe bring one or two that I haven't heard people talk about a lot, but give me Christmas vibes or that I watch around Christmas time. Well, first of all, there's Bad Santa, but that's just a terrible, terrible movie. You shouldn't watch if you're in the Christmas spirit. And but one that I think about is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. Now, this movie, it was made in 2005, and it's and mainly the only Christmas things I took away from the first few viewings are like there's Christmas trees decorated with lights in the background and, carolers when they walk past certain places. The movie's is about like a con artist. It really has nothing to do with Christmas at all. He's like on the run. He auditions for a role, accidentally gets it, becomes part of Hollywood. But like in the meantime, like everything behind him is Christmas. And when I pay more attention to the story, because of those Christmas elements, you start to see there is the redemption, type of story, and the spirit comes back type of story. So when you pick it apart and when you watch those small details, it could at least be argued to be one. Now, do I consider it one? Yes and no, but it's one definitely that I think doesn't get talked about that could be debated.
Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. And if you had to take the other side, what would you say?
I would say that there's no family element to this movie. Like zero family element. That's a big no-no. There's no actual talk of Christmas or of Santa or Jesus to my immediate knowledge in this movie. And so those are definitely docs. But like I said, it was more so the background elements and the kind of the wintry vibes, and then coming back and watching it and seeing that there's like a big story arc, and that's important in Christmas movies. So
Yeah, so I always like that when somebody can actually articulate both sides and then choose a side. It means that they've thought about it. So clearly, you know
this is one that's always been there in my head, and I've never seen it pop up for anybody. So I was like, I'll try to bring that one in tonight.
yeah. And then I know I can't see it now, but on your other videos, you've got the Jingle All the Way. You've got what's the guy's name?
It's Turbo time.
Turbo, yeah, Turbo Man. That was a good impression there.
Well, thank you.
Very good, actually.
Yeah,
it was an accident. I'm not going to try it again.
Okay. That show Jingle All the Way.
Yes, it's my favorite all-time Christmas movie.
It's really good. That's definitely a Christmas movie, but it was for a while there. I thought it was one of those forgotten gems. Now it's kind of coming back again and it was one of those shows that, like you wouldn't see being played at Christmas. You'd see Elf, you'd see, all these other shows being played at Christmas. And I'm like, where's Jingle All the Way? How come it's not, being broadcast on television anywhere? And now it's starting to kind of come back. But I thought that was a great show.
It's funny you said that, because I actually had one of these exact dolls when the movie first came out. I was a huge fan. Like my parents bought it for me and we watched it. I loved it. And but like my parents told me the other day, it wasn't very popular back then. They had to really look for that doll. Well, I got this specific one just about like 2 months ago at Walmart. They had a new line of them. So it's like you said, it's really kind of making an odd comeback.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, because it really deserves to be one of those Christmas classics. And I don't know why it didn't become one of those instant Christmas classics.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what happened where it just kind of slid through the fingers of society as far as Christmas shows were concerned. But it deals with one of my favorite periods of time, and that's that period of time, like right around when the internet started getting popular, where cell phones were a thing, but not everybody had one, and they still had to talk on pay phones and stuff. For me, I really like watching that. I really like watching that era, that era right before the big explosion when everybody had a cell phone. Oh, yeah. And then the explosion after that where everybody's house had internet.
I think it was the best time for technology. I think we went too far after that. I think we had just went just far enough. And that was like, and then everything after that's been a slight downfall.
Yeah. It's got its pros and cons. I got to say that. It's got its pros and cons. There are a few comments I want to get to here. One here, go ahead and read that.
Terrell Bellinger says, what are your opinions on the 1974 Canadian-produced holiday proto-slasher classic Black Christmas, directed by the late Bob Clark, who would go on to direct A Christmas Story?
Go ahead.
Take it away.
I got nothing on this one.
Okay. Well, okay. So this is what a lot of people consider the actual first slasher. More casual fans would refer to Halloween as being the first slasher. It came out in 1978. This came out a couple years earlier and was a really big influence on John Carpenter. This is without a doubt a Christmas movie, even though it is a slasher. And that's because the whole thing is centered around a group of girls if I remember right, in a sorority house. It's been a couple of years since I've seen this one, but I believe it's a sorority. And they come in. The slasher is like stalking them, and from the outside, he gets in, starts killing them off. But it is all based around like there's Christmas tree, there's Christmas music playing, there's presents under the tree. They're talking about like waking up the next morning. It's like a Christmas Eve, type of thing. And he's, I think, I could be wrong. It's not the one where he's dressed as Santa. I think I'm thinking of a different one.
No,
that's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Anyway, so yeah, so no, but
there's a couple of them actually.
Exactly, yes, but it does have just about everything that a Christmas movie should have. It just adds that it's a slasher. So I definitely would consider that one, and I would consider it the first, or at least one of the absolute first slashers, and like one of the best. In the genre still today. It's like a pivotal movie. It's one of my favorites.
There's before it and after it. And you hit the nail right on the head about the college theme. They're all getting ready. Well, most of them are getting ready to go home for the holidays. And how many times have you seen that theme in holiday movies? They're all getting ready to go home, and something bad happens.
Mhm.
Usually it's they get a bill that they can't afford, or they have to work, or their car breaks down. And it's that type of tragedy that they have to overcome to get home for the holidays. In this, it's a madman with a knife. So it's that little inconvenience that's keeping you from having a Merry Christmas. But I think it still holds water to this day, some 45 years later.
Well, I'm going to throw one in here. Well, I'm not going to throw one. I'm going to let one of our audience members throw one in here because they brought one up that is debated, and so we're gonna talk about it, and that is
Trading Places. That's on my list, actually.
Oh,
Eddie
okay.
Murphy, baby. Yeah.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
Trading Places. Well, what do you say, folks? Christmas movie, not Christmas
I'll keep
movie?
it short. He has notes apparently, so I will just say my answer, which is yes. Go ahead, Thrash.
Actually, Ian, you've been strangely silent this one. Ian, do you want to chime in on Trading Places first before I go?
I don't have a lot to say about whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not. I mean, I know it kind of takes place over Christmas, and there's kind of a reverse of fortunes motif that happens in it, and I don't really, and of course, Dan Aykroyd dresses as Santa and comes as kind of a drunk Santa. So, I mean, there's enough of a Christmas element in that. So, I just want to acknowledge one thing here. Yes, we will get to this. We will get to this. A Christmas Story is an amazing film. I want to let John will keep repeating that, and I just want to let you know, John, I will highlight this comment, and I will definitely comment on it. You guys remind me too.
I sure will, because I want to talk about that one myself, actually, John. That's a good one.
Okay,
but
so
just Trading Places. Yes, it is a holiday film. The only big difference I could see, but I still gave it a holiday thumbs up, is the evil robber barons aren't the ones who get redemption. We get revenge on them. So it's sort of a holiday revenge movie.
Oh,
the redemption comes between the two young men. One is a sort of a stuck-up rich kid. He becomes a much better person because of his tragedies. And the other character has usurped this poor man's home, and he learns the error of his ways, and the two of them work together to create the Christmas miracle. In this case, it's not red or green for Christmas, it's orange for Christmas. But yes, it does hold water as a Christmas movie.
Right. Yeah. Good Christmas movie. I mean, a good movie in general. And if people want to watch for Christmas and call it a Christmas movie, I generally wouldn't not consider it a Christmas movie, but I'm gonna put a movie on here that I believe is a Christmas movie that that I don't know if anybody's really thought about, but we watch it in our house every Christmas, and it's a Christmas movie for us. But I will save that. Let's go ahead and talk about A Christmas Story. So
Yes.
Go ahead and read that.
Who'd like to start?
No,
I'm sorry. Read it entirely? Okay. John Collins says, A Christmas Story is an amazing film because of the narration and the layered characters.
Yes.
Couldn't agree more.
And the leg lamp.
And the leg
It's
lamp.
a major award.
And the tongue scene, you're right. It's absolutely a classic. It's a Christmas movie through and through. But it's a cult classic because wasn't it in if I remember correctly, quite a flop.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was not received well at all.
I think so. It's definitely a cult classic at this
point.
I mean,
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the show. We watch it every year. I think the TBN has it like 24 hours of a Christmas show.
That comes on all the time, man, on TV all the time.
Yeah. One of my all-time favorite ones. So yes, definitely a good call. Any other forgotten Christmas classics that you can think of, like that maybe slips through your fingers, slip through the fingers of society as far as Christmas shows? The only one I can really think of was Turbo Man, but I'm sure there's other ones out there.
Wasn't there a Nicolas Cage movie where, and I could be so off base, but a Nicolas Cage movie where he's like trying to get the right gift for somebody, and it's like a Groundhog Day type of situation, but it's like a more serious movie than that. Family something, or I don't know. Maybe I'm crossing
Oh, I
movies,
don't
but it
know.
seems like there's like a Christmas movie
Maybe it's not ringing a bell.
and with
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage or somebody, and they keep like going back and they have it's like a Groundhog Day, but a Christmas Day. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like I said, I think it's a drama, not like a comedy or anything.
Oh, okay.
Huh? Could be.
All
Could
right.
be. Oh, just one more thing I wanted to say about Christmas Story before we move on is, it works as a period piece, and that's very important for a lot of these movies because nostalgia is something that is so big around the holidays. Traditions, sometimes specific to an individual family, sometimes to an entire culture. But just that whole period piece feeling, I thought, really gave it a little extra oomph, and I just wanted to throw that in there.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a big influence on me. I remember being a kid watching it and then talking about it with my friends and stuff, and just like, oh man, it's a Christmas. Are we gonna watch it? And we'd joke about it and we'd make references to it. You know what I mean? All those little inside jokes, and you'll shoot your eye out, or it's always fun and games until you shoot your eye. Yeah, fudge. But I didn't say fudge. I said the mother of all words. Yeah, that was a great one. All right, another one here we got here, and then we're going to get back to our guests here.
John Collins, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I love it, but isn't that Thanksgiving?
Is it Thanksgiving?
I don't
trying
think
to get
I've
home
seen
for
that one. I've
Thanksgiving
heard of
dinner.
it. Yeah, I can't comment on this one.
I think he's trying to get home for Thanksgiving dinner. I could be wrong, but I think that's one of the few Thanksgiving films.
So is
feature
that
films.
Pauly Shore film. Pauly Shore.
Cousin. Yeah, where he goes to the farm.
Yeah. Forgot.
Oh my gosh, what is it called?
I'll
look it up. I'll look it up in case we have
Please,
look it up.
please.
It's gonna bug us all. But that's another Thanksgiving movie. Those are one of those.
My brain seized up.
We could call it Thanksgiving Part 1. Or
Son-in-law.
Yeah. Son-in-law.
Yeah, I kicked my gosh dang it.
I love Pauly Shore movies, by the way. Just to let you know, they're horrible movies. They're cheaply made, but they are seriously entertaining.
And in the Army now, so good.
That's a great one. The one where what was the one where he goes jury duty? That's hilarious.
Say hi to Judge Ito.
Ito. He played the voice of one of the characters in a Goofy movie too. The one that's always like spraying the whipped cheese into his mouth. He does a great job on that too. It's so funny.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he's like.
I kind of feel bad for Pauly Shore. He's kind of become maybe a little bit of a joke or something.
A meme almost.
Yeah, and he doesn't deserve that. He did kind of do that dude thing, and that was a little like it was cool when it happened, but then when it's over, it doesn't survive a long time. And I think we talked about this on our comedy when we were talking about stand-up comedy, like people who do like a shtick kind of a thing, like Bobcat Goldthwait and Pauly Shore. It doesn't last long. You can't do that forever. It just fades out. But I love Pauly Shore. Oh, by the way, just off topic. I'm sorry, everybody. Got to get off topic here because I totally forgot about mentioning something last week, and it was about the cult classics. Have you guys seen any of the Neil Breen movies?
I have not.
Oh my goodness!
I have not.
Oh no!
I'm gonna look him up because, like I said, I'm not great with names.
Gosh, Fateful Findings. Oh, these are the worst. The worst.
Oh, yes. Where he's like, I cannot believe you've killed yourself. I cannot believe you've done this.
Believe worse than The Room. Worse than The Room.
I agree.
Totally
I've seen at least clips. Once you said that, I looked him up. I've seen his face in that scene. Like, I cannot believe that you committed suicide. And he's just,
I cannot believe you committed suicide.
It's really bad. Yeah.
These are the worst movies. Go
That's hilarious. Yeah.
By the way, I got another Christmas thing I got to tell everybody though. Do you know the origin of Saint Nick? Does anybody know the origin of Saint Nick?
It was from Germany, wasn't it?
Nah, well, you're thinking of Santa Claus, so not Saint Nick.
No, the actual Saint Nick,
the actual Saint Nicholas.
See, I don't know that. I know the origins of Santa Claus and like the man that gave gifts in Germany, but I don't know the origins, I guess, of Saint Nick.
So Saint Nick was at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, and that's where they were debating, where they were trying to debate the Trinity. And there was a heretic there by the name of Marcion. Yeah, I think his name was Marcion. Oh no, Arius. I'm sorry, it was Arius. And like when somebody says, "I don't give one iota," that have you ever like, I don't give one iota. Well, they were debating the word homoousios versus homoousios. And that means homoousios means same substance, and homoousios means like substance. And so they were talking about, does the son have the same substance as the father or like substance as the father? And the heretic said he had same substance, and pretty much everybody agreed it was same substance, not like substance. And Arius said no, it's like substance. And Nick, who previously there was a man who was going to sell his daughters into prostitution. And he went into their house and gave them money, so he didn't have to sell his daughters into prostitution. He punched. This is Saint Nicholas now, and this is why the gift giving. He punched Arius in the face at this council. It got so.
He gave him a good old gift.
The gift of a fist.
I give you a knocker sandwich.
He punched him in the face, and he had to spend the night in jail. And they were going to actually remove him from being a pastor, or a bishop at the time, but they ended up reinstating him because of a miracle, which I won't get into. But that is the origin. That is
so he's the bad A saint.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he wouldn't tolerate any heresy being taught by Arius, so he just punched him right in the face. So anyway, you might see those memes every once in a while, like on Facebook or wherever you watch memes. You might see like Santa Claus punching somebody in the face, and you might not understand it. That's where that comes from, by the way.
That's awesome.
All right. What about the movies? Boy, we've gotten a lot. Gone past a lot here. I don't know, man. There's not a lot being said about movies. They're kind of talking back to each other.
I do have one, just real quick about Frozen.
Oh, Frozen.
The 2010 Disney animated Frozen, because there are a couple of Frozens, and there are some that are not rated PG. But this one, it never mentions Christmas. There's no tree. There's no gifts. There's no Jesus. There's no Santa. Mm-hmm. But it was released the last week in November in 2010 when it came out. So it was a Christmas time movie. It's wintry. The main character, who has the biggest story arc of redemption and finding herself and her spirit again, can literally make it snow and ice, which is tied heavily to Christmas. So that's one that I definitely consider Christmas movie, but I didn't start picking apart the reasons why it wasn't until real recent. Like I said, it doesn't have Jesus, Santa, anything like that. But I would definitely consider that one a Christmas movie too.
People kind of tend to watch it around the holidays, right? So that
kind of starts in fall, like it shows fall, and then it kind of fades into winter, and then you've got like your deep ice, and it just feels Christmas time. It's
all right. We've got a couple of comments here. Hi, Nancy D. How you doing?
Absolutely a Thanksgiving movie. I believe she's I believe she's referring to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'm just extrapolating.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Marcus Smith.
There we
Hi,
go.
Marcus.
Clarity.
Nice to have you with us.
Gotcha. Oh, and Marcus Smith also says, yes, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is set at Thanksgiving. Thank you, folks.
Oh, all right. Let's see here.
And Blackadder says he's credited as Nick Coppola in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh,
yes, because
yeah, go ahead. He's
Nicolas Cage is in fact Nick Coppola.
Isn't he like a beach lifting weights on the beach, or he's like doing pull-ups or something at one scene?
In Fast Times? No, in Fast Times he actually works in the Greasy Spoon restaurant.
I'm thinking of his first role ever. There's one role that they show him, and he's just this shirtless beach bum, and it was like Nicolas Cage's first role, and he's like, flinging his hair all around. It's like typical Nicolas Cage. It's great.
Was that Valley Girl?
I don't know.
Maybe. Foreman?
Maybe.
That sounds like Valley Girl. Oh, John Collins is back. John Collins, Nick Cage, Matchstick Men.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. Oh, was that the Christmas movie you were talking about?
No, it's not actually. Somebody pointed it out earlier. It was The Family Man, but because it happened around Christmas time.
Yes, I
But I'm also
remember that
confusing
movie.
it with a more heavily Christmas themed movie. But I do believe that The Family Man did happen at Christmas time, and it was like a Groundhog type of movie, Groundhog Day type of movie, I should say.
All right, we've got a couple more here.
Got a couple more. Terrell Behringer says there was a memorable scene in Clueless where Cher and her friends attend a huge holiday party.
Good eye, Terrell. Good eye there.
And yes, Thrash, it is Valley Girl. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. John Collins says, can we debate whether we enjoyed the claymation Christmas movies? I do not enjoy the stop-motion claymation Christmas films. Their quality takes away from the stories.
Yeah, I could see how that could happen.
The Rudolph movies and
the Rankin Bash ones.
Yeah,
you could say it's Rankin Bash on. He is going to bash on.
I'm going to do my impression here of it. They do that, except for they do the foot thing as well. I say walk along. Yeah, I could see that. Of course, I was a kid when it came out, and I loved them. I loved the the reindeer one. The reindeer one.
I think the issue is like, even
reindeer.
Like new claymation, like it's not just that like CGI and practical effects have gotten better, but claymation has as well. So it's not like it's the top quality claymation either. If it's not that it's claymation, it's that it's kind of low quality claymation.
Quality. Yeah. It wasn't Ray Harryhausen stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cindy D says, you missed my movies. I said White Christmas, Little Women, Meet Me in St. Louis. All of them have Christmas scenes.
I apologize. I did not mean to miss any of your Christmas movies. Let me just say here that, White Christmas, I mean, that's got to be a Christmas movie, right? Or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, White Christmas, we were doing unconventional ones. And White Christmas is one of the most conventional ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a musical comedy set in Christmas in Vermont of all places. Let's face it, New England is the home for America's Christmas. Not that you can have a great Christmas anywhere else in the country, but people really think New England when they think the holidays.
And what about this one right here?
Oh, Denny Staten. How about Reindeer Games with Affleck?
Yes.
If Die Hard is one, Reindeer Games is too. Right,
you gotta give it to him. You
have to.
Do you think they were trying to make like a little Die Hard did a kind of a Christmas thing? We can do it too.
I think it almost feels very like not. I don't want to say like it feels like it stole a whole bunch of stuff from it, but it feels very influenced by not just the vibes of the movie, but the actual setting and the time it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, one of Ben Affleck's first big action films, he was starring with Bruce Willis. So, maybe they figured, hey, lightning in a bottle.
Armageddon, right? Is that
bingo? I knew one of you would get it. Yes, Armageddon.
That's one of my. I'm gonna even go a little further, controversy-wise, not Christmas related, so I won't talk about it long. But that's one of my top 20 movies of all time.
Really?
Really?
I love Armageddon. I could watch it any day.
Oh, good.
Any day.
I liked it. I don't know if I put it in my top 20, but it was a very solid movie.
I actually liked the one better, the one with Elijah Wood.
Oh, yes.
It was a Comet movie that hit the comet. And I mean,
I don't know if I've seen, I'm a big Elijah Wood fan, but I don't know if I've seen that.
So that was one of them that came out near the same time. I thought that one was better, but because of the big name with Bruce Willis and all that stuff, it just
Téa Leoni was in it too. Téa Leoni plays the
it was kind of more of an emotional piece. I mean,
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, for sure.
Deep
exactly. Yes.
Okay, I've heard of it, but I don't know if I've seen it since maybe it first came out.
Check it out.
I would have been pretty.
Yeah,
young,
it's really good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman plays the president.
Yeah.
Terrell Behringer says Silent Night, Deadly Night caused a lot of controversy when it was pulled from theaters due to protests from angry parents groups a week after its initial release. I believe that.
That does not surprise me a bit.
That doesn't surprise me.
74, right? 1974, I think. So, yeah.
74, 75, somewhere around there. Yeah.
I was like
we'll call it mid-ish 70s.
Yeah. Right. All right.
I was 8, I think.
I got to get to my most controversial one, and probably one that nobody thinks is a Christmas movie, but we watch it at every Christmas, and it's endearing to us. And that is Better Off Dead, with my all-time favorite actor, John Cusack. Is it a Christmas movie? Well, for us, it's a Christmas movie. Let me just say that it happens over the Christmas season, and there is a big Christmas scene in it where he buys a gift for his girlfriend, and the mother, it gives gifts to them, and it's they're skiing, and I mean there's definitely a Christmas theme in it, but that's one of those movies that we watch every year at Christmas because I'm such a huge John Cusack fan, and it has too much Christmas in it for me. All right.
Yeah. There's snow, there's ice, they sled. I mean, like you said, there's a whole Christmas scene. Definitely.
The gift of TV dinners.
Right.
Yes.
It's hilarious. I love that. And then he wears that big hooded thing, and then oh goodness, it's just one of my favorite shows. So I mean, it was really good. All right.
John Collins says, Ian, have you ever done a proper video sermon on St. Nicholas going into the whole details of his story?
No.
If not, would you be my jam?
Not really. I don't, I'm already kind of gearing up this year, so that it would have to be out for next year.
Is that even same denomination? Curious.
Yeah. I mean, you go back far enough. I mean,
okay.
I might mention it or something like that, and I have mentioned it just like I did now. But as far as being a whole 40-minute sermon, I don't think that's really up my alley, because it's more of a history thing rather than expository biblical teaching. So probably not. It would be good for a history class, but just not necessarily.
Yeah, you could end it that way, the sermon, and so what did we learn today? If they're speaking blasphemous, you punch them in the face.
You punch them in the face.
I kind of don't know if it's the best sermon.
Right.
Cool, really awesome story though.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Terrell Bellinger writes.
Terrell Bellinger says, Ian, can I please suggest you do a 5 things you didn't know about blank 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 video on the 1985 to 1989 ABC romantic dramedy.
Sorry.
Moonlighting.
Well, guess what, Terrell? Guess what? I already filmed it, and I am in the process of editing it. So it's coming out either tomorrow. Well, if it comes out tomorrow, it will be for the Cornflake Club only. But whatever day it comes out, the next day it'll be out. So I took your advice. I thought it was a great idea, and I went to work on it right away. So I saw it. I'm not very active on Twitter, so I now have a Twitter account, which is retro_serial. And I do also have an Instagram account, retro_serial, same one. But I don't really tweet. I'm more of an Instagram kind of person than a tweeter. So I'm sorry I don't get back to you as much on that. If you were on Insta, it's just not necessarily my jam. I might get more used to it later. But yeah. All right. Let's see. All right.
Trey Thrust Myers says, Ian, please give me your email address in Patreon.
Well, Tracy, you can actually get my email address on the page here. If you just go under personal, it just gives you my email address. So it's totally right there for you. That's how you can get in contact with me. All right. What else we got up here? What else we got as far as Christmas movies are concerned?
Derek?
Oh, I can't really think of any more that I haven't mentioned that would be kind of controversial. Like I said, some of the Batman Returns is one that I kind of stand by.
I can see that one. Yeah.
I consider one. Gremlins, but I think that one is a little more heavily argued towards them. So my biggest argument is always towards the people usually that consider horror movies can't be Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So like we talked about Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night, and a couple I've seen recently. My one of my latest reviews for a movie on my channel was Deathcember, which is a 24-part Advent calendar, which I know Thrash has seen that review. It just kind of goes down, counting down the days to Christmas, but every day is a new short, and it does get very offensive and grotesque. So it is like a be warned before you go into this one, like for sure. But it's a very Christmas oriented one as well. Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg is another good one. Have y'all seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Goldberg plays Santa Claus, and it's like mixed in with Norse mythology. It's amazing.
That's
so good. It's actually not amazing. It's very, very average, but it's fun.
You mentioned one there, the Gremlins, whether or not that's a Christmas movie or not. I mean, that is seriously heavily. Yes. I mean, I consider that to be a Christmas movie. I mean, it happens at Christmas. It's kind of about Christmas. I mean, it's a Christmas terror, with those gremlins getting everywhere. And
pretty sure the VHS copy I had Gizmo in a Santa hat.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty sure it was even on the cover art. I mean, it was I feel like it definitely was, but again, it's one of those I could see the argument against it. So, but I consider it one.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know. Look, Terrell Bellinger writes.
He writes, Terrell Bellinger, have any of you seen the review that Morgan Richard did for Gremlins on her channel next year? I have not.
Channel on her.
Not yet, but when next time I get in the old time machine, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
but no, I haven't. I'm not sure who Morgan Richter is, but I haven't seen her review.
She's got a nostalgia channel here. It's actually really good.
Oh, I'll check it out. I'll write it down. I
actually invited her to be on the show, and she turned me down.
Oh no!
So it says last year. Well, she didn't. She turned me down not because she didn't want to do it. She says she's got terrible anxiety, and so and sometimes she can do it in front of a camera by herself, but like when she's asking questions, she tends to shut up and not say anything. So she shuts down and is not too good in interviews. And so she said, I just wouldn't want to do it. And I didn't want to push her. I just said, hey, anytime you want to, I really appreciate you getting back in contact with me. I just wanted to say hi to Lisa Fields. She says, hey, Tracy.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa, glad that you could join us here near the end of the program, but glad you could join us anyway. Well, I want to tell everybody a little bit about what's going on, and if there's anything in the chat channel as well, I'll be happy to kind of answer that if I can get to it and if I can see it. I want to let everybody know that there is a channel out there called Rush Trader, RUSH, and then capital TRADER. It's a music channel, and he talks mostly about hard rock and heavy metal. And I'm going to be interviewing him tomorrow night, and that will be part of the podcast. So it's not going to be live. It's not going to be a live show. It's just going to be a regular interview show. But the next week, he's going to come on the live program. So next Monday, hopefully, either this Monday or the Monday after. I'm not quite sure. It will depend on how quickly I can get it out. If I can get it out super quick, then I don't want to get it out like on Friday and then, have them on Monday, because there's not enough time to kind of watch it and digest it. You know what I mean? So if I can get it out like Thursday, then I will definitely have him on Monday, but that's kind of tentative. But check his channel out. He does really good reviews on music and stuff like that. And so, but we're going to be talking about the Beatles. So he's going to be more the expert. I mean, I love the Beatles. Don't misunderstand me, especially Beatle John was my favorite Beatle. But I don't know a lot about the Beatles. So he's definitely going to be an expert, as well as interviewing him about his channel. I do have the Moonlighting one coming out, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And I did contact the Glitter Boom girls again, and I'm going to be talking with them, and I'm going to let them, hopefully, if they have the time. I haven't seen anything from them for a while. I haven't seen anything from them for a while. They did the Halloween episode, and they just kind of vanished off the earth for a bit. And let me just say this right up front. A lot of people say, "Oh, hey, I want to start a podcast, or I want to start a YouTube channel, or whatever." You have to be your own boss. I mean, it really is kind of self-motivating thing. You got to do it because you like to do it, and especially at the very beginning, because you're not getting paid. You know what I mean? So you just have to do it. You have to do it. You have to be the one who comes up with the scripts or come up with this, and you have to you know what I mean. It's easy if you're not like self-driven. It's easy to kind of fall off. Now, they're self-driven girls or whatever, I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is it's easy to kind of just go, well, look, I mean, why am I doing this, you know what I mean, and then just neglect it for a while and then come back to it after a while. So that's something you want to know if you want to start a podcast or a YouTube page. I mean,
you have to
on
stick
you
with it too. You have to keep doing it. A lot of the people that I see that, start getting the big breaks, they start getting into the tens of thousands of subscribers. Their channels are 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
You have to be grinding. And then for instance, somebody I do some videos with, E-Rock, I think he's got 2 million subscribers, but he's been doing this for, 10, 11 years. You got to grind it out. You have to stick with it. And consistency is a really big part of it.
Yeah.
And by the way, John, it is perfectly fine. It does not bother me at all, but thank you very much for your apology.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah. And let's talk a little bit. What have we all got going on this week? Derek, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm actually, for the first time, I'm meeting my the cast for my short film. We're gonna eat dinner at a little local burger joint here in town, and in about 2 weeks, I'm gonna be taking a little vacation. I'll be gone for a few days to a cabin, a couple hours south of here, and with my family, my parents, and my wife and children. We're gonna go down there. Have some reviews coming up I've got actually the first collaboration I'm going to do with my wife. We're going to do a little video together reviewing a rom-com Christmas movie we just watched together. And then I've got, I guess, Die Hard and Die Hard 2 this week, Thursday. On
Yeah,
Fat
that was the
Samurai
other thing
Guy.
I was going to mention.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on his show again too,
Yes.
with you.
Awesome.
I wasn't on last time. He invited me, but I hadn't watched either of those movies. And
It was a different sort of verses for sure. There were only 4 of us, and it was I think we all kind of crammed them.
Yeah.
They were newer movies that are less popular, so it was a little tougher.
Yeah.
Oh, what night's that going to be, by the way?
Thursday.
The Thursday?
I think at what time is it on Thursday?
It's 8. It's 8 Central.
So yeah,
8
so
Central,
9 your
so-
time and 7 my time. That's right. So 8 Central. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to collabing with you over there on his channel. He's another guy that's super nice. I mean,
Yes.
he reaches out to channels that aren't as major channels and stuff.
Mhm.
And he's got 28,000 subscribers. or
Yeah,
something
he's
like that.
up there, and he's very he stays very busy too. He's
He
constantly
does.
doing 2-hour-long videos once a day with all these different up and coming directors and stuff.
He did one this past Saturday, and it went for 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
I had to applaud him.
Yeah.
I was there for that one.
And that was
I'm
just him by himself, I think.
just
That was just
chatting.
yeah.
A couple guys joined in towards the end, but for the first 3 hours, it was just him, just chatting with people, answering questions. So
That's right.
got to
Yeah,
admire his
Media
fortitude.
Eclipse joined in. Yeah, Media Eclipse
Yeah.
joined in.
Yeah. All right,
yeah.
Thrash, what do you got going on?
I have a couple of things going on. One, I have an offer to all you wonderful people who I love to chat with on Ian's platforms who haven't joined any of mine. To anyone who subscribes to my channel, I will do a video on any topic you want. Just say subscribed and tell me a topic, and I'll do a video on it.
Ooh,
I am
wow.
putting my subscriptions
that.
where my mouth is. You name it, I'll do the video on it. But my next post I'm working on for this week, I've decided to stick with the Christmas theme, and it's going to be the top 10 list of holiday-related dad jokes. I've already got a couple of really, really terrible ones. Oh, and
Just in
I
time
did
for
have.
me to unleash them on my children.
There you go. Oh,
right.
and one other thing, by the way, someone asked me to do Stranger in a Strange Land, not book versus movie, because they never made a movie about it, but just for me to do it on my sci-fi review channel. I am 3/4 of the way through. I will have it read before the new year.
Well, we've got to
Nice.
get working on on All Quiet on the Western Front. I downloaded the book and I just haven't gotten to it yet. So I need to kick myself in the butt maybe in January though, because it's kind of a busy month right now. But definitely we got to do our book versus movie again, and we'll do that. John Collins asked this question: did the Glitter Boom Girls stop production? No, I don't know. They're just not doing anything right now. I mean, it's been since
I've taken
Halloween.
breaks too. Yeah,
it's been, and and when you don't have to punch in somewhere, it's easy to just not do it. So yeah, I'm not sure. All right, everyone. Hey, I just want to thank you two for joining me today on
thank you.
this. Yeah, it was awesome. And thank everyone here for watching. Please do me the favor of liking, commenting, subscribing. If you are on Twitter, go to the Twitter page. If you're on, if you're on Instagram, go to the Instagram page. And please subscribe to these two gentlemen's pages as well. They would love to have you subscribe. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. And I want to say a special thank you to John Collins and Tracy Rothmeyers for being part of my Honeycomb Hideout. You do get a shout out for that. And a special shout out for Dave Sundstrom. He is part of the Cornflake Club. And so awesome that he supports it in that way. And oh, Danny, what are you gonna come here at the end there? John's Revenge.
John's the Revenge. Just because
Christmas movie.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
it sure is.
You can
Why not?
And yes, good night, everybody. And please. Take one of my videos, just one of my videos. When you're done here, take one of my videos and then post it on your favorite social media. Mean the world to me. And consider supporting us over at our Patreon page. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. You have a good evening, rest of whatever your evening is, and enjoy it.